Welcome, Sagittarius. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a reading for you during this full moon in Scorpio. And Uranus is slowly ingressing into Gemini at 0 degrees. Both of these inconjunct energies, and by inconjunct, that's describing the physical relationship between the energy of the full moon in Scorpio and Uranus in Gemini. This is an inconjunct relationship, or one that is slightly off tilt. It's also called the hand of God, or a yod, indicating that there are opportunities for genius, intuitive, creative, imaginative, playful resolutions to the challenges we face. So this is a good thing in general. And for you, it really is about closing out some chapters in your life. And this has been a theme for quite some time because many of the patterns that you have been coping with, or in some cases masking, have been entrenched for a very long time. And because you are so socially functional, it was not even clear to you how deeply you were invested in your lack of success, your fear of success, your fear of your mistrust in the world and in yourself. So the first card I pulled is from the Wild Unknown Archetypes, and I'm going to read quite a bit about this one. Other words for this card are the poison or the curse. The venom is always lurking in the shadows in one form or another. It can be found in our relationships, thoughts, speech, or environment. Thankfully, the cycle of purification and detoxification comes so naturally that it is built into our every exhale. Archetypal venom is rarely remedied as easily as our breath, and it can come in potent forms and quantities that are deeply damaging to us and the world. There's a harmful substance in our psychic realm that must be identified. Acknowledgement is the first step. Change is the second. The remedy will reveal itself in time, and with it, forgiveness. So I love this. When you harm another, you harm yourself. This is really talking about banishing the energy of the expectations of others. Sometimes that is in the form of the status quo, or some kind of conformity that we have rigidly, if unconsciously, adhered to, fulfilling the prophecies of others who we didn't want to believe, but we had been conditioned into accepting their definition of who we are and what we could be, staying in our lane as someone else had defined it for our safety, our protection, and really unmasking, opening this up in a way to view it and take responsibility for it has been a huge subconscious journey for you, a large journey in recognizing that underneath the positive, optimistic, outgoing self was a pattern of disillusionment, perhaps faith or belief in something that wasn't really real for you, but it served as a kind of coping mechanism for how you were going to defeat the world as you saw it. The blame card. I accept responsibility for my well-being. This is all the ways that we can tell the many stories of betrayal, heartbreak, failure, disappointment that we've endured at the hands of others. And of course, the question is always, what were you doing as a part of this experience? Were you choosing this experience? Were you locked into it? Could you have left? So there are a number of ways in which we can push back on the idea that it was someone else's fault, that we're a victim of someone else's bad behavior, and how very damaging that is. And as the archetype reads, the solutions to this, the experience of understanding our role in this, comes with a lot of time and a lot of work, but it also comes with its own remedies that are unique. And it is not the idea of forgiveness is critical to releasing this pattern ultimately. And that forgiveness includes forgiving the self. In the present, the Five of Cups is kind of repeating this theme. So again, the overall theme seems to be closing out patterns. But in the present, you're still a little bit straddling a space where you understand your share, your role in heartbreak and failures, but you're also still a little invested in whatever that experience was. If it was love, for you, the love was real. And as a result of that, you still can imagine yourself in some scenario that could have worked out. And why that can be detrimental is it has you turning away from your own best interests, now invested in someone else's behavior, actions, words, presence. And in all likelihood, they are not there. This is completely absent. This is experiences of the past that you are unlikely to still be actively engaged in. However, if you're waiting, if you're expecting the possibility of something that you know hasn't been good in the past and is unlikely to change, is still available to you. And this is where the devil lingers always. We can always go back to a habit, a pattern, a relationship that wasn't good for us. We can always invest ourselves in someone else's growth rather than our own. In the past, the Seven of Swords is about this language of conditioning that you've internalized, right? Whatever was said about you, mostly about you, and then later to you as you matured about your deficits, what you don't have enough of, what you don't know, what you can't do. And this has an incredibly deconstructing, or worse, a really damaging impact upon your sense of self, your faith in yourself, your belief in your ideas, the ability to present your ideas with confidence, knowing that even if your ideas are criticized, they're being taken seriously. And this is you, in many ways, not being taken seriously in the ways that were important to you, and the effect that has over many, many years, especially when you spoke to something that really was passionate, really something you felt was a part of what we could call a destiny, a calling. That's when you got the most pushback. And in the future, we have the Nine of Wands. In the present, moving into the future, you have now really taken this ownership of your life, this sense of being a sovereign person, one that can establish borders and boundaries that are best for you. And unfortunately, in the past, that was done in response to real damage, real pain, real hurt, which sets up a kind of defensive environment that you really don't know who to trust. You're suspicious of everyone, but You are determined. And what is difficult for you in the future is to not act in the ways that you've acted in the past. Now that you understand that you are in control of this, that you're going to move on a path that is best for you, you can feel it. You know you're aligned with your innate gift, your innate passion, your calling. But the tendency is to act the way you acted in the past. That can include all kinds of scenarios, quitting when you don't get your way, or when you're being pushed out, just resigning and giving up. This says you're not going to give up this time, but you can do it in a way that doesn't hurt. It doesn't have to be a struggle. It doesn't have to be a fight. Sagittarius, if this is resonating for you at all, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. Thank you so much for all of you that support me. It is so loved, appreciated, and felt. So the Seven of Swords in the past is clarified by a couple of cards, please. The King of Swords and the Ten of Wands. And for the present, the Five of Cups is clarified by, whoa, it's deep in there. The World and the Emperor. And the Nine of Wands is clarified by the Page of Wands and the Four of Cups. Okay, so in the past, this sense of doubting yourself, this insecurity about who you are, what you can do, the sense that no one takes you seriously, no one's listening to you, that you're invisible, is really something you've worked on through your own ability to deeply find your truth and move in alignment with that. You have pursued your truth, and as you've done that, you have aligned yourself up with justice, with what is fair. And this implies a social sense of responsibility to others like you that are perceived as invisible, that are perceived as not being taken seriously, not valued, not worthy, not worthwhile, not deserving. All of those things can be a part of the illumination that you've worked really, really hard to understand. And this has been an exhausting trial. This is suggesting to me that some of you are highly educated, and it's not just in the area of your skill set or your professional arena. This is in terms of understanding yourself and the world better, whatever that means, however you pursue that. So I do see that you've expended a lot of energy, and you continue to do so, staying abreast of current events, figuring out what is important to you and how to monitor that in a way that doesn't overburden you. And one of the ways you do that is by asking questions and then listening to what others have to say. So if something tells me you consume a lot of information, news, literature, information in a variety of forms, and that is burdensome to you, but you feel it's all necessary for you to unlock the sense of feeling unworthy. In the present, the Five of Cups, this regret, the sadness you carry is clarified by the World and the Emperor. I have to say all fire signs have gotten the Emperor in one place or another. This is you closing out the cycle, absolutely, of choosing what doesn't work for you and really focusing yourself on your own relationship to your own power, your deeper connection to who you are, the discovery of that, the exploration of that. And that is past the stage of exploration at this point. You have tangible skills, a history of manifestation, of making things happen that is informing you that you are actually more heavily weighted on the side of your own skill development, your own awareness and its evolution, your own sense of sovereignty as an individual. Your life is as you are making it to be. And that has been a long time coming, but is one that informs and helps you to close out this sad, sorrowful relationship with the past, this regret that if only things had worked out differently. And the Emperor also helps you look at that in realistic and practical terms. It's unlikely that if any of these came back, the experience would be different. In the future, the Nine of Wands is clarified by the Page of Wands and the Four of Cups. Yeah, I do see you working really, really hard. And I do see this idea of this missing piece being the way that you conduct your life day to day, the way you fight so hard. Again, the theme of a warrior, a fighter, the wounded warrior, the wounded healer is really speaking to me as having conditioned you to believe that everything is a struggle and you're going to lose something in every interaction because that's what's happened in the past. And you're aware that that really isn't getting you what you want. You're aware that there's a way that you have long been practicing choosing those things that support you. You've stopped giving in to this sad story of failure and disappointment, recognizing that this has been your choice. As unconscious as it was for a while, you've become long aware this is something you were choosing. You're doing this to yourself. And with that awareness, you have been practicing, but you're still learning how to feel in this new skin, the skin that feels empowered by possibilities, that sees that there's no way that love, your loving expression, your contribution to others, your place in your community can be stopped. You're too mature, you're too experienced, you've had too many successes to feel that anything can stop you. And yet you're still getting used to what it feels like to be pursuing your heart, to be following your heart, your passion, your inspiration, your joy. This is not about fighting anymore. This is about expressing yourself, moving forward towards your potential, engaging the abundance of resources that are around you every day to take those steps needed to not only achieve what you know is possible for you, but also to relieve this sense of exhaustion that you're experiencing. And for some of you, this is really about a full circle. And I'm thinking a little bit about the Ouroboros as the Fool card. And this is the snake biting its tail. The Fool in many older decks was both the number 0, not a number, and the number 22. The Fool was both the materialist or spiritualist and the fool, the infant. And in this full circle moment I see you in, you are at a place where you are back to the beginning, but you're at a different, more greatly enhanced and enriched level of awareness. You feel your gifts as power, not as burdens, not as curses, not as poison. I'm going to pull a flower oracle for you and hope this has been helpful. Boy, these flowers are just jumping all over the place. And I pull the Stephanotis for you. And the key word is cooperation. Take the hand offered or ask. Thank you so much, Sagittarius, for this reading. Until next time, namaste.